So when you start to deconstruct your internal behavior, which is a vital part of the work that we do, one of the things you're going to notice is that the behavior you're trying to analyze kind of will be cognitively slippery, for lack of a way to describe it. Um, you will, as you review the sort of symptoms and signs of what you're working on, um, not all of it will appear all at once. There's a level of magnification involved, just like operating a microscope with the depth of field. You can't really see all of it all at once because your mind and the parts of your consciousness that are protecting you are hiding bits of sort of cause and effect relationships between the behavior you have and the outcomes you're creating. First and foremost, it's important to understand that that sort of hidden behavioral mechanic is natural, right? So when you are a child and you are unaware that every time, for example, you develop a habitual response to being scolded. Every time you're scolded, you go and you, let's say, you hide under a table or hide in a closet. And over time, what will happen is those closets or under the table, those confined spaces will bring you comfort. And when you start talking to yourself later on in life about why, for example, you really like those tight, closed spaces and they make you feel safe and comfortable, it's going to take a ton of kind of unpacking to figure out where all that comes from, because more often than not, in those sort of internal conversations, some of the original source material effectively is lost. You've lost the reason why that receipt exists or what have you. So, uh, but for the big behaviors, some of the ones that really are maybe holding you back or informing your behavior in a different way, it's real easy to kind of recover some of the idea behind root cause without digging too deep. And one of the techniques that you can use is basically arithmetic. Um, so if you're familiar with math and algorithms and all of that kind of thing, what you'll find in a lot of the equations or in a lot of the mathematical operations is the equations typically need to balance. That need to balance kind of goes away in your mind to a degree, and we can talk more about that in another episode. But in the case of analyzing some of these behaviors you're trying to work on or surface, you kind of you notice the symptoms of what's going on or the whys and wherefores. I don't like the way this is going. I keep doing this whenever I should be doing that. Whatever those behaviors are, um, break out your basic mathematical symbols, your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the equal sign, etc., and start to kind of tease out uh, what the parts of that equation look like. For example, we'll use the hiding under tables or hiding in closets kind of example. Every time I um, uh, let's say every time somebody gets loud around you, right, or was about to yell at you, you have a tendency to want to retreat, and you need to unpack that. So you take your stimulus, the getting yelled at, the internal response that you have might be, so getting yelled at plus the feeling afraid, the alert mechanism inside your brain equals hiding in the closet. Or equals an adult behavior where you can't maybe hide in a closet because it's less convenient to do so. Maybe it's going into your favorite room in the house and shutting the door and going full goblin mode. So when you start to use the mathematical kind of operations, you might find that that is a useful mechanic. It may not be always effective, but it may be a useful mechanic to help you deconstruct some of the kind of interplayed parts of your behavior set so that you can sort of reprogram it, and where the behavior is appropriate, kind of reintegrate it back into your subconscious. this process that we go through of self-improvement for all the IT folks out here is really just a process of refining the algorithms that we have. We take an algorithm from the unconscious that we become aware of when it impacts our behavior in a negative way. We look at the algorithm. We attempt to find out what the variables are. How are those things related? What's integrated? What's not? What's causal? What's not? And then put the algorithm. You can put it right back into the unconscious and kind of let it auto execute. This is, how we learn to do anything and how our conscious behaviors become unconscious and vice versa. So use the tools at your disposal and see if you can't work on the next best version of yourself using math.